You know, when you look at a plant, you probably just see something static, right? Still. But what if I told you there's a secret dance happening, a constant slow-motion choreography that's absolutely key to its survival? So how in the world does it work?
I mean, think about it. It seems like such a simple question, but it's a real puzzle. How does a seedling, buried in total darkness, know which way is up? Or how does your houseplant on the windowsill always manage to lean exactly toward the sun? They don't have eyes, they don't have a brain, so how do they pull this off? Well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack.
All right, so first things first, we've got to wrap our heads around what this movement actually is. It's not like an animal getting up and walking away. Nope, it's something way more subtle, way more deliberate.
Sure, you might see a Venus flytrap snapshot, and that's fast and exciting. But for most plants, almost all their responses are just carefully controlled growth. It's happening 24/7, just way too slowly for our human eyes to really notice in real time. They're literally building themselves a path to a better spot.
Okay, so this directed growth thing, it actually has a scientific name. And once you get what it means, you've basically got the key to understanding how plants see and navigate their entire world.
That name is tropism. It comes from the Greek word tropos, which means turning, and that's a perfect description, right? That's exactly what they're doing, turning and growing in response to all sorts of signals from their environment. Things like light, gravity, you name it.
Now, for pretty much any plant out there, the two biggest signals, the ones that are absolutely crucial for survival, are light and gravity. The response to light, that's called phototropism. Photo for light makes sense, and the response to gravity is geotropism, geo for earth. And trust me, for a plant, getting these two right is literally a matter of life and death.
Okay, and here's where it gets really cool. These responses can be either positive, meaning they grow towards something, or negative, growing away from it. Think about it. A plant's shoots grow towards the light. That's a positive phototropism. But at the same time, they grow away from the pull of gravity. That's a negative geotropism. And the roots? They do the exact opposite. So how does one single organism manage these two completely opposite sets of instructions?
Well, the answer isn't a brain. It's a chemical, a super powerful plant hormone that's basically the master controller of this whole secret dance.
And that hormone is called auxin. You can think of it as the secret director working behind the scenes, telling every part of the plant exactly how and when it's time to grow.
So how does it work? It's actually pretty straightforward. Auxin gets made right at the tippy tops of the shoots and the roots. From there, it just kind of diffuses backwards, sending signals down the line. And its main job? It's all about controlling cell growth, basically telling the cells how long to get.
Okay, but here's where it gets really clever. Because the way this one single hormone acts is the whole secret to the plant's brilliant two-part strategy.
This is the big aha moment. The exact same chemical, auxin, has completely opposite effects, and it all just depends on where it is in the plant.
Check this out. In the shoots, a high concentration of auxin stimulates growth. It's like flooring the accelerator. The cells grow longer, faster. But in the roots, that same high concentration of auxin inhibits growth. It hits the brakes, telling those cells to slow right down. Isn't that wild? One hormone, two totally opposite instructions.
So let's see how this plays out with light. Imagine light shining on a stem from one side. What happens? Well, auxin is kind of shy. It doesn't like light, so it moves over to the shaded side of the stem. Now you've got a buildup of auxin on that dark side, and since we're in the stem, more auxin means more growth. So the cells on the shaded side start growing longer and faster than the ones on the sunny side. And that imbalance is what makes the whole stem bend towards the light. Simple, but so effective. And the end result of this little chemical dance is just genius. The plant is essentially turning its leaves into smart biological solar panels. It's constantly adjusting them to face the sun just to squeeze out every last drop of energy for photosynthesis.
All right, so we've cracked the light mystery. But that just leads to an even weirder question, right? How on earth does a plant sense gravity when it's buried in pitch-black soil?
I mean, there's no light down there to guide them, but roots almost always find their way down. The secret here isn't chemical in the same way, it's actually mechanical, and it all happens inside some very specialized cells.
These cells are called statocytes. You can think of them as the plant's own little gravity detectors, and they're located exactly where you'd want them, right in the root tips.
So if we could zoom way in on one of these statocytes, we'd see they're filled with these tiny, dense little packages of starch.
These are called amyloplasts. And here's the trick. They are heavier than everything else in the cell, so gravity just pulls them down. They literally sink and settle at the very bottom of the cell, no matter which way the root is pointing. That physical weight, that pressure at the bottom, is the signal that tells the cell which way is down. And that signal then tells the auxin where to go to make the root grow in the right direction.
So why do we care about all this? Well, these systems aren't just cool little biological quirks. They're absolutely fundamental for a plant's survival. And it turns out, we humans have figured out how to use this knowledge too.
Let's just wrap up why this matters so much. Bending towards light, that maximizes sunlight for food. Growing down into the soil, that ensures the roots find water and nutrients, and it anchors the plant so it doesn't fall over. This whole system is a masterclass in survival. And because we understand it, we've been able to create things like rooting powder, which is basically synthetic auxin. You dip a cutting in it, and you're telling it, hey, grow roots. It's how we can easily grow so many new plants.
So this really leaves you with a final thought, doesn't it? We tend to look at plants as these simple, passive things. But if they have these incredibly complex systems for sensing and reacting to their world, for carrying out this silent, beautiful dance of survival every single day, it just makes you wonder, what else are we missing? What other conversations are they having that we're completely unaware of?